Hello everybody, you are tuned into PE with Coach Matt. Today I'm going to talk all about the After School Sports Club. We should also have time at the end of this episode to talk about the final level 2 routine in the Balanced Body System. But first let me tell you about the After School Sports Club. So this is a program for active youths, grades 5th through 8th. This is a collaboration between the City of Bath Recreation and myself. The goal of the program is to offer something for kids to be physically active that fills in the gaps in between the sports seasons. So far, we've run 2 7-week sessions where we offer it twice a week from 2:15 to 4:30 after school. We are going to look forward to offering another session probably in October of 2019. The basic structure is that I open up the gym for kids during those hours. Last session we had about 14 kids. So basically they come in, different kids are getting off of school at different times, but they come in and they just start playing really what they want to play. And every so often I'll try to encourage them to get organized and get into gameplay. And that could be running drills or it could be running a full game. One of the biggest things that I emphasize, sportsmanship, and I emphasize teamwork. I work with an assistant. This year, more senior Julia Cliff was with us. So we look to get the kids organized in games that they choose. We let them choose when they want to be active, when they want to participate, and when they want to take a break. But we are always encouraging them to participate and inviting them into the games. In the last group, we had quite a bit of variance in the skill level of the kids, which presented some interesting challenges. But as a group, we discussed this difference. This kind of challenge, it goes above and beyond just the physical benefits of this kind of program. This is an opportunity to talk about the mutual benefits of teamwork, cooperation, collaboration, also humility, but also being bold and trying out new things. And it's these life skills and life lessons that will carry with them for the rest of their lives. In regard to the physical benefits, I actually tried to capture some data. I had some really interesting findings and positive findings. Based on the data I gathered, it's estimated that kids that participated in this program during the 7-week period that the program was running, they got about 80% of their recommended physical activity over that period of time. I'm going to show you how I came up with those figures and have some more discussions about the approach and philosophy behind the program. But I think the best thing to understand what we're doing is just to see it firsthand. So this group loved basketball, and I love basketball too, so this was fantastic. And yes, coaches get to play in the After School Sports Club. We got about 20% of our activity from basketball overall. And I do try to split up the basketball games based on skill level as much as possible, because really a lot of 5th and 6th graders should actually be using a 9-foot hoops. So sometimes I would put one hoop at 10 and the other hoop at 9 and split them up. Dodgeball ranked second with about 12% of our total activity. Dodgeball's great because it really mitigates some of the skill differences and you can get more kids involved and participating.
Okay, good try. Line it up again.
The one thing I make sure is that there's an easy way for kids to get back in the game. You can see how here they can get back into the game if a teammate passes it to them and they catch it from within the jail, which is not too far away. It's not that hard to get them back in the game. Because I really don't feel like anything that has permanent elimination is appropriate. It can too easily discriminate. So now you gotta hear some of these fantastic takes from the kids.
It's nice to have something after school where you can be active and out of the house, not sitting at a desk, and because I'm homeschooled, so like out of the house. And because I have friends here, and I like all the sports here that we do, and yeah.
What's your favorite sport that we've played here?
Football, without a doubt, yeah.
Okay, so I basically chose to come here because I thought it would be fun, so I could, introduce myself to a little bit of new sports and create new imaginings in my mind. And I'm just really glad I got to come here.
Yeah, what has been your favorite sport to play?
My favorite sport to play was probably basketball because I like shooting hoops.
You were starting to make a lot more shots by the end, huh?
Oh yeah. You're right about that.
Yeah, just tell me about why you choose to come here and what you like about it.
Because it's fun, and I was bored.
What else would you do otherwise?
Sit at home for another 2 hours, not being able to do anything.
Yeah. And what's been some of your favorite activities?
Floor hockey.
Floor hockey.
And games that I don't like football, because that lets me eat my Mike and Ikes.
Mike and Ike break.
Yeah, I can eat them in peace.
Yeah.
It's fun because I get to get away from my parents.
You need to take a break from your parents after school.
Yep.
What have been your favorite activities to play?
Dodgeball.
What's so good about dodgeball anyways?
I get to throw it at people. Another sport that I like is dodgeball mostly because, you get to run around a lot, and it's devoted on teamwork, mostly because there has to be people who are willing to sacrifice getting another person out for getting one of their teammates in. Teamwork makes the dream work!
Teamwork makes the person better-hearted and makes them a better person, so then they can go farther in life.
What is the dream?
Getting in better shape.
What?
That could be part of the dream.
And
I don't understand what the question is.
making friendships.
Oh, I think that was most of the goal of this. Let kids have fun, let them run around and do whatever Jacob does, and make friends.
I just basically love the rec so much. I just wish it could be a all day sort of thing. Peace out.
Don't get over 100 on the pacer test. That hurts. That's just.
Did you do the pacer test again today?
No, I did the push-up and curl-up test. Woo! It hurts.
The other thing I gotta say is that I literally laughed out loud multiple times every single session. The silliness level would get cranked up to 9 or 10 oftentimes.
Looks like you're in an egg sack. Are you getting enough physical activity today? Yeah!
So this has been such a cool thing to be a part of, and I really appreciate the parents for giving their kids opportunities to be physically active and socially active. I also appreciate Dana Delahanty, the Bath Rec program director, for making this program happen and promoting it. The Bath Rec offers a full calendar of organized sports programs, and they have a summer camp that they run as well. So this age group is really well served in the town of Bath. However, more broadly, we are in the midst of what some believe is a health crisis that is definitely affecting our children. There are concerns around nutrition, and there are also concerns around the amount of physical activity that kids are getting. Technology plays some part in this, and the amount of screen time that most of us get is increasing. The amount of hours that we spend sitting is generally increasing. And for too many American children, opportunities to be physically active are limited, and this can be due to time, money, or just availability of activities. Too many kids are not getting what they need, and they're developing unhealthy habits around physical activity. And as the kids brilliantly captured, it's much more than the physical. It's also the social. The social aspect of this is what some of those kids cited as the main reason that they like to come. So I don't want to undersell the importance that goes beyond the physical. The social aspect of a program like this is a lot more difficult to quantify, and usually we don't try to even quantify this, and we forget how important it is. So I would not want to overlook the social aspect of a program like this in developing children's social skills. What I can quantify, what I tried to quantify, was more related to minimum physical activity that kids ought to be getting. So an often used general recommendation for physical activity for most people is 150 minutes per week of moderate to vigorous physical activity. A measure that can be used to calculate how much work our body is doing is the METS measurement. METS stands for metabolic equivalencies. 1 MET is the amount of energy that your body is using while just lying in a resting position, awake. And we have some pretty good information to suggest about how many METs are expended when doing various other physical activities. There's one chart that I was basing my information off of. And based on this, I was looking to quantify how many METs the kids were expending during our sessions. So each time the kids came in, I noted of what activity we were doing. I also noted of how engaged the kid was in the activity and how long we were doing the activity for. After this, I was able to run calculations to see around how many METs the kids expended during each activity and over the course of the whole program. I was also able to see in each type of activity which ones were we using the most. I came up with some information that's summarized in these charts. So for each kid, you have the number of hours that they were in attendance, you have their level of engagement, and then that gives you a MET score. The MET score is coming from taking that percentage and multiplying it to the amount of METs per minute per activity. I wasn't able to get completely precise here, but basically I was measuring what percentage of the time were we in a certain activity and what was the kid's level of engagement in that activity. So assuming a kid was fully engaged the whole time, we can know about how many METs a kid is expending during that activity. So I would calculate that number and multiply it by the percent, and that would give the kid a MET score. And that's about the amount of METs that they expended during the total time being in the after-school sports club. So we can also know that if we're looking for about 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity per week over the 7 weeks, then we're going to look to get a MET score of about 6,800. And then from there, we can get a number that is the percent of MET goal that was met. And all in all, 60.2% of the MET goal was accomplished by the participants during those hours where we were in the after-school sports club. So there's a couple of important notes here. I've tried to be very conservative with all of my calculations and also take a note that not every kid participated every day, and they attended the after-school sports club 75% of the classes or less. And despite this, we still got a figure of 60.2% of the total amount of activity met. So we could also see for each sport or activity what percent of the MET goal was accomplished for each. Basketball was the clear victor in this regard. Nearly 20% of our physical activity came during basketball. 12% came from dodgeball, 10% from soccer, 6% from floor hockey, 4% from baseball, and 4% from football. There's another factor that's interesting here, and that's the engagement percentage for each activity. By this measure, you can see that volleyball with 92% had the highest engagement rate. But we really only played volleyball the one day, and they were particularly pumped that day, so that might be a little bit skewed. However, you'll notice that dodgeball, hockey, and soccer were all at about 80%. And I think that is a little bit more representative of what actually was happening. And those three activities are great because the skill level is not as drastic for those sports. Basketball is a little bit more skill intensive. Baseball is as well. So from this, I think we can take away a couple of things. Just seeing the general trends of the activities that the kids choose to participate in and the amount of exercise that they're actually getting during those activities. Another note, if you look at the engagement percentage for each individual participant, you can see that there's a good degree of variance. You can also see this variance in the percent of the met goal accomplished. This is pretty much related to the level of skill that each kid had in the activities. So though we do what we can to include all of the kids as much as possible, you can still see that this is the reality, that the more skilled kids are going to get more physical activity. So I'm really looking forward to offering this again next season. It's so much fun. Get your kid here or tell all the kids in the neighborhood that you know that this is happening. And if you're not from Bath and you want to start something like this, start it up. It doesn't really take too much. You just have to get in touch with a local facility that has some different activities for the kids to play with, and it's really simple. You throw some balls out on a court and the kids are going to know what to do. Hello, Coach Matt here with you. Today I'm going to take you through the Level 2 band and dumbbell routine in the Balanced Body System. For more information about this system, you got to go to the website, thebalancedbodysystem.wordpress.com. You can subscribe today and get access to video demonstrations for hundreds of exercises and also complete exercise booklets that will tell you how to do it. And you can also just contact me, matthines25@gmail.com, or find me on Facebook at Fitness with Coach Matt. So a quick note before we start that these exercises will generally be completed for 30 seconds each, okay? And in general, you're going to rest 30 seconds in between each exercise, but I will guide you through that. So the first exercise will be push-up plank elevated to hip height. So the first thing you got to do is set up a platform that is at the height. When you're standing, it's going to be at hip level. And once you have that set up, you're going to put your palms on that surface, and you are going to have your feet on the floor and get your posture right. You're going to roll your shoulders back and down. You're going to tuck your chin. You're going to brace your abdominals. You're going to extend your elbows. You're going to walk your feet back, and your body will be at an angle, and the ball of your foot will be on the ground. Your heel will be elevated. And once you're in this position, you're just going to hold it tight. Flex your hips, press strong through your elbow, and hold this for 30 seconds. You can actually use the same surface for this next exercise. You can keep your hand right on that hip height elevated surface, and then walk your feet closer to it. And you're going to stand tall and balanced. Your heels are going to be down hip width to start. From there, you're going to shift your body weight over to the left foot, and then you're going to step the right foot laterally, transferring the weight to that foot. Then you're going to step the left foot together with the right. Next, step the left foot to the starting position, and then you're going to transfer your weight and then step the right foot together. And then you're going to be going back and forth like this. You're going to repeat this for 30 seconds. The next exercise will include the band. So you're going to be doing a banded linear rows with 2 arms seated. You want to have your band wrapped around a post, and you want it to be positioned just a few feet away from a seat, so that when you're sitting, you have some tension on the band, but it's also not too far away. And this band, by the way, it can be of a medium thickness, so it doesn't have to be too small, but certainly you don't want it to be too thick either. So medium thickness band. And then you're going to sit with your hips on the seat, your feet on the floor. You're holding on to the band with 2 hands. You're going to begin with your elbows extended, but you're going to roll your shoulders back and down. You're going to tuck your chin and you're going to brace your abdominals. From there, you're going to pull the band to touch below your chest. Then you're going to re-extend the elbows and you're just going to repeat this motion. We're going to go for 30 seconds. You can let go of the band and you can return to a standing position. You're going to set up again where your hands are held onto a surface at or above hip height. Once you're holding on to this post, you can stand tall and balanced with your heels down hip width. From there, you're going to roll the shoulders back and down. You're going to tuck the chin. You're going to get ready to do the assisted hip hinge stretch. So then you're going to hinge at the hips. You're going to send the hips back. The knees, meanwhile, are going to stay back, and the shoulders and the head are going to go forward. You're going to go as far as possible, and then you're just going to hold this position for 30 seconds. Let's move back to the seat and grab the band. This time, though, you may want to have a lighter band, a nice thin band. So sit with your hips on the seat, your feet on the floor. You'll roll your shoulders back and down, you'll tuck your chin, and you'll brace your abdominals. Hold that thin band with your arms extended out from your chest with the palms up. Next, pull the band across your chest. Your arms will rotate out to the side. Then rotate back to the starting position under control. You may need to adjust the hand positioning on the band for the right amount of tension. If you bring your hands further apart, there will be less tension on the band, but if you bring your hands closer together, there will be more tension on the band. So repeat this exercise for 30 seconds. You can let go of the band. You can return back up into a standing position. Place your hands on that surface at or above hip height. You want to stand nice and tall and balanced. From here, you're going to hinge the hips slightly, shift the body weight over to one foot, and then step the other foot back. Place the ball of that foot down on the ground. So you'll have the front heel down and you'll have the ball of the back foot down. Hold this position for 30 seconds each side. Come back into a seated position, but first grab your light dumbbells. Grab a pair of light dumbbells. Once you have those, you can sit on the seat. Sit tall with the hips on the seat, the feet on the floor. Tuck the chin, roll the shoulders back and down, brace the abdominals. Begin with the arms holding the dumbbells. The dumbbells will be down by your hips. Your palms will be facing your sides. Next, pull the arms up along the line of the torso, driving the elbows up and back. You are doing dumbbell seated upright rows. So then next, you'll relax the arms down by the side, and you repeat this for 30 seconds. You can stay in that seated position, but just set the dumbbells down for a moment by your side. We're next going to do some seated wrist and hand curl and extends. So you're going to sit on your seat with your hips on the seat, feet on the floor, tuck the chin, roll the shoulders back and down, brace the abdominals. Reach the arms out now, right out in front of you, and flex the wrists and open up the fingers. The fingers will be pointing upwards. From there, you're going to curl the fingers, curl the wrists, and then you'll re-extend the wrists and re-extend the fingers. And you'll repeat that motion for 30 seconds. Okay, now relax your hands down by your side. Let's pick up your dumbbells again. You've got your light pair of dumbbells, and you're in a seated position, sitting tall with the feet on the floor. Check your posture again. You want to tuck that chin, roll the shoulders back and down. You want the abdominals to be braced. Begin with the hands holding onto the dumbbells down by the hips. The palms will be forward. Then flex to bend the elbow and lift the dumbbells to the chest. From there, you're going to lower the weights back down to the hips under control. Let's repeat this exercise now for 30 seconds. So that's it. That's the level 2 band and dumbbell routine in the Balanced Body System. If you have any questions about this routine, contact me. I'm at Fitness with Coach Matt on Facebook, or you can contact me through thebalancedbodysystem.wordpress.com. So thank you so much for tuning in today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the show. In conclusion, I'd like to reach out to you all. The PE with Coach Matt show is accepting underwriters. If you're enjoying this content and want to help me to produce even higher quality episodes and more information, then I would love to work with you in order to do that. The farming season is upon us here in Maine, which means that I'm going to be spending more time in the fields over the summer. These PE with Coach Matt episodes will come to a standstill probably until the fall. I will, however, be capturing a lot of footage, and part of that will be working on another project where I will be talking all about the farm experience. So you can stay tuned for that. Until then, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.